Okay.
So
I'm ready.
I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Episode 5. Turn your phone off.
Sorry.
Get that vibrate off there now.
Let me put it on do not disturb mode. Do not disturb.
She's causing a nuisance already. We've only been here 10 minutes.
3, 2, 1, go. Bzz. Okay, we're on episode 5.
Hi, Mum. You all right? Yeah. We're good.
Sorry, it's gone. It's off.
So, yeah, last episode was on the reverse dieting. We've done all that, haven't we?
Yes, that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, it was good. Well, we hope you liked it too. People.
Hopefully. I feel like there was some good kind of topics in
Nuggets. Some good little nuggets in there for people.
Yeah, defo.
Yeah. I think this year actually is probably the best, most successful reversing year I've had with people.
That's good.
Yeah, because obviously since it was last year, everyone was just starting the reverses in a little bit. Now we're like, 5 weeks since the last show, about something like that, innit?
Don't you think it feels like so much longer though? Like when people ask me how long post show it's been, I'm like, yeah. And I think it's like 4 months or something. In my head, I'm like full off season now. I know what you mean.
I just like don't know where I am for the last few weeks. I'm just getting my marbles back after you've all beaten me to death.
Do you feel chilled now?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I break off.
Yeah, you've got a good long break.
Yes, I break off for about 10 days for Christmas.
Yeah, that'll be really nice.
So I'm buzzing. Everyone's set. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone who's starting prep on the 27th's got the plans. Everyone's booming. I've got a couple of check-ins over Christmas. I think 3, I think it is. People are already on prep for April.
Yes, yeah.
Obviously, they're on prep, so I've got 3 check-ins. So I'm going to make sure I don't drink before the night like that. No hungover check-in days.
Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah, so everyone's checking in on the same day, then 3. So, yeah, we're good.
And then you're chilling.
Yeah. Then I'm chilling for Christmas. Thank God.
Time off. I had some drinks the other night. I had my sister and a boyfriend over for like a games night, and I had some drinks. And you know, when you're at home and you're like, oh, I'll just have like a nice gin or whatever. So I'm not like a massive drinker, but sometimes I'll have like the odd drink. And you know, when I go out for dinner, I'll have like a glass of wine or something. And I was like, yeah, well, I'll have a drink. And then you get a bit carried away, don't you? You just sat there on your sofa at home, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll have a nice drink. And then we'll like, do you want another gin? I'm like, oh yeah, go on then.
I feel so relaxed.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm so chilled. I'm so lifestyle now. But then we've got no measure thing for the gin, so we were just whacking it in the gin glass, and then we got some Baileys as well. So we're like, oh, let's have some like Baileys for dessert. I was so hungover the next day.
I bet you was, yeah.
I had a headache for about 3 days. I think that's why I had a bit of a mini meltdown as well the other day because
maybe the depressant.
Yeah, the alcohol.
Yeah,
so that was fun.
It's depressant, isn't it? It's a depressor and alcohol's a depressor. That's what they say. People used to say that, and I used to think, I feel real good when I get pissed. But then when you get a bit older, you're like, actually, this makes me feel depressed.
Yeah, you know what? When I used to drink at uni, I was out a lot drinking, like multiple times a week, and I was absolutely fine the whole time. I
was going to say, was you one of them women that cries at the end of the night? No, see all the women crying, don't you? And I was thinking, why are they crying for? It's because they're depressed.
That's fine. But when I was 18, 19, and now I'm not 18, and I can't drink anymore.
Age undisclosed, not 18, 19.
Yeah. But
questions?
We're going to do a Q&A. We've had quite a few questions on quite a few different topics, so we've got a few different ones to go through.
So we'll broach some topics.
What?
Broach some topics.
Oh,
is that a thing? Broach.
I thought you said all right, bro. Topics. Like, all right.
Yeah, bro. It'd have been better if you just went, yeah, bro. What?
So, some of them aren't questions. Some of them are like general topics.
Some of them were just statements. I read some of them. Well, that's a statement. That's not a question.
Some of them are like whole topics that probably need a whole podcast. I'll just go through them in the order, and then we can pick and choose.
Yeah, we'll just talk about some
reverse dieting into off season. Statement.
Thanks for that statement. Next statement, please.
Opinion. I don't know where you want to go.
Reverse dieting into off season. Well, I suppose we covered a lot of that on the last one, though. Before how we move across into that.
I feel like they kind of blend together. It's kind of the same.
Yeah,
thing.
I've got kind of my own way. I kind of blend them together now. It's like finish competing, make the calories up, big them up, get them up straight out the gate. Don't want them leaving their calories down, getting bigged up. Quite a big jump straight out the gate generally with the calories because people are starving. And they're in bottomless pit when they come out of competing. Yeah, as you know, it just there's no filling them up generally. So I put the clean calories quite high from the calories that they're already eating. Let that bump into week 1. Do a check-in after that. Probably bump them up a little bit again because they're still starving. Between week 1 and 3 is usually the hardest, isn't it? The first week after the show, they've had a bit of off-plan meal. They're getting back onto
Yeah.
it. They've had a few days off. They're getting back on the plan. Between week 1 and 3 is where all the tough stuff is.
Yeah.
So the food's big there. They eat that. We'll jump straight into week 2. Usually jump that up a little bit again. I'll usually leave off-plan meals out officially until meal 3. Officially. People still do it, but I'm not going to write it onto the plan because it's generally a bad idea because they get a taste for something they can't stop eating. So I just try and see if they can survive until week 3, basically.
I didn't survive until week 3.
No, but you're quite experienced at it as well, so you was kind of all right. It didn't send you off on a mad one for months on end, as it can do. So I usually try and get them to survive to week 3, but the food's a lot until week 3. And then we'll get to week 3, put off-plan meals back in. It gives them something that weekend. We'll roll into the next week. And then the calories are usually really, really high. Body weight's been coming up fairly progressively. Everybody's different how that comes up. Then swap out some of the calories that are in the diet for some freedom calories. Yeah. So, because I don't put them in too early, because obviously if they start eating chocolate, it's going to send them on a mad one while they're still starving. So usually by the time we get into between week 3 and 4, we can take some food out of the plan that's already in there. So just nip some bits out of oats, chocolate, things that have like really overly done to calm the hunger down. And then switch the free calories in after that. So then by the time we get to week 4, they've got off-plan meals in there, food's quite high. Free calories are in there and they're ready to go into the off-season. If the weight is still bouncing up too quickly at that point, once their appetite's died off a bit, and they've started, because you usually get that point, and you'll get this when you get clients checking in 3 or 4, they always get that, the food focus has died off now, Dan, and I'm waiting for that, do you know what I mean? And that's usually week 3 or 4, the way I've done it, it usually is. And then I can go, right, the weight's still going up too quickly now. I can pull the food back a bit and they'll be all right. They've got free calories, they've got their off-plan meal, the food focus has died down. Let's pull it back, right? Then we can chill. Then we're looking at doing blood work, usually between 4 and 6 weeks post-show. It's landed a bit funky, that one, for everyone this year. Because
it's Christmas.
Because it's Christmas, yeah. So when everyone should have been doing the bloods is around about Christmas time. So we've just said, like, we'll wait till New Year, generally. So a couple more weeks. There's no point in doing it too early. We'll do it a couple of weeks later. Let everybody settle off. If they've been using certain drugs or whatever, if people have been using like thyroid replacement bits and pieces, obviously we've got to wait for them to get off that. I'll usually leave that in until the appetite's calm and everything as well. Because again, double-edged sword, bring that out too early. Metabolism might be a bit shot because they've been using drugs. They then might go on mad binges and stuff like that. And like you're trying to fight too many battles at once. So I'll usually leave the thyroid stuff in it if people have been using it. Not everybody uses that until 4 or 5 weeks post-show, whatever, till everything's calm. Get that out, wait 4 to 6 weeks, then do the bloods. That's the general protocol into the off-season. Any other things that people have been using, if they've been using anything, any steroids, if they've been using Anavar or anything like that, or clenbuterol for fat burners, and that's the full arsenal, to be fair. That's generally everything. That all comes out the day the show's done. That's gone the day of the show. It's only the thyroid that I would keep in for a few weeks. Then obviously wait till things are regulated, then do blood work after that. And then before you know it, you're in the off-season.
You're swimming.
And that's it, yeah. Training-wise, you've generally been running a reduced volume program leading into the show because you can't recover from a full volume. Yeah. Leave that in after the show for a few weeks. Leave a few reps in reserve for a few weeks. Gently push back up into full volume with reps in reserve until we get to usually about week 4. And then we can kind of buff into the off-season. If we go too soon with that, even though you feel like you're good for it, you're not good for it. You've just been fucking battered for months on end. So I'll leave that till about 4 weeks. And that's a general outline of how that I'll do into the show, out the show, into the off-season. Yeah. Then we'll lead in a way. So if the reverse goes well, which for the majority of people it has been going really well now, don't get too many of the ones that go on mad ones anymore. You see them every now and again, but not that often, because I feel like I've mastered the best way to do it for my clients and not seeing a really downfall. And then the body fat's usually however many kilos up, and then they've got a good runway into the off-season then. Yeah. Like I said before, if they do knack it, they've got to own that. Yeah. They've knacked it. They're carrying a lot of extra fat, and we've got to carry on pushing until it's time to cut, because that ain't coming anytime soon. Yeah.
It's basically like a recovery period, isn't it? Where you're like just getting your hunger down, getting everything nice and settled.
Yeah, and get a bit of body fat back on, get your hunger down. Obviously, then you've got to look, when you get your blood work done, you're looking at your lady hormones, see where they're all at, seeing how much recovery that is. But in general, like that's a time thing anyway. If they are still a bit out of whack, it's a time thing. You've just got to kind of wait for that. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's it really.
It's nice and easy, really, isn't it, that one?
Yeah, it took me just a decade to master that. I'm only joking. Reverse diet didn't get invented till 3 years ago. Oh, God.
Oh, God, yeah. Everyone's just... it's all over the place everywhere at the minute, isn't it, with the reverse dieting?
Yeah, I think it's such a... it's a scary thing for people to go through. It's a thing that if it goes wrong, it can really make you feel crap for quite a long period of time.
Yeah.
So I think just getting it right... and like I say, that's a general outline of what I'll do. Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody comes up at different rates. Everybody needs tailoring different things into where they're thinking and all the rest of it. You all right? It's cold now.
Is it? No. Oh, I've left it for too long.
But yeah, that would be a general good outline of how to bring somebody out of a show, and it works incredibly well. I've had quite a lot of off-timers, first-timers.
Yeah.
This year, and they've all done really, really well.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I feel like a lot of first-timers are a bit scared of, like... Because there's so much out there now, a lot of people are, like, petrified of, like, doing it wrong or messing it up or whatever.
Yeah, and they overthink it a lot as well. And I'm like, look, it's... Whatever way it goes, you've done all right. As long as you've not just fucked off for 6 weeks and just gone on a mad one.
And eating takeaway every day.
Yeah, then you'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Yeah, so that's that pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how we transition.
It's basically the same process... But you're just recovering for the first, like, 4 weeks and getting food up.
Yeah, kind of going back and then just jumping back in. Like, some people will be like, they'll go mad or they'll want a new training plan straight away. That's something I don't generally do unless someone's really, really mentally burned out from the training plan. Because they get too excited. And they jump.
We spoke about this, didn't we?
Yeah, they get too excited and they're like, go in, and then they're spending even longer recovering because they've just jumped in too quickly. So I'll usually hold off with that. I left myself because I had a lot of them people competing at the Worlds.
Yeah,
I'd left myself short like an idiot, and I was ended up having to write about 8 training plans the other day. I'd done a bunch of them, and you know how long they take as well. I was like, shit, this is a long day. This. Yeah. So I think I spent most of last Sunday writing up training plans.
Oh God. Yeah, it's easy, isn't it? Like when you post show, because you're really motivated and excited, and you're like, yeah, back to the gym, and then you like go in and you want to like really,
because you've got a little bit of glucose in your system. You're like, I've got loads of energy. Like,
and then you
haven't. Trust me, you haven't.
Yeah, and mentally you find like I was doing this post show, and I'd like have some days I'm like, oh, I feel great. Like I would just go on a nice walk, and then I'd get halfway around the walk and literally feel like I was going to pass out, and I was like, well, I need food. I'm gonna die.
I thought I was all right, but I'm not all right.
And it like hits you a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Jump in the dog pram. It will push you on.
God. Actually, you know when we used to have one of those little dog hammock things.
Oh, do you have the hammocks?
Well, we did because people think sausage dogs can't walk very far, right?
But they can.
So their legs are the same size. No, not the legs. Sorry.
The lungs.
What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
No. They can walk quite far.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say then.
Yeah.
But the dogs can walk as far as any other dogs, but we got one of these little hammocks for it, so they can like sit in it if they get tired.
We had a pram. My last dog before he died, bless him. Rest in peace, Dave. He was mega fat and he could not walk farther than across this room. He was a pug, an old pug. So we just got him a pram.
That's really cute.
Used to push him around. We had the pram from the bulldog before that because they don't walk very far either. She kept stopping us, so I ended up... I've got a video somewhere. We took Daphne, my daughter, on park a few years back, and it was hot. I think it was in the summer as well. We had the bulldog and the pug. It was when she was a baby.
Yeah.
And we ended up having to get her out of the pram and put the dogs in the pram, and I was carrying the baby around the park because they won't get out, and was having to push them in a proper child's pram. And we was crossing the zebra crossing, and all the cars were just laughing at us. It was on lockdown, actually.
So there's just a little dog in a pram.
Yeah, and there's just a bulldog just like... in the pram. Yeah, that was a good day.
Oh, God. Yeah, ours are all good now, to be fair. This question kind of links in, actually. Off-season progression to control body weight and training. Well, this isn't a question, it's a statement.
Another statement. They must have run out of figures. That's why they couldn't put no question mark on there.
Off-season progression to control body weight and training to really add muscle mass optimally. I think that's meant to say.
Control body weight.
I think what this question means is...
how to not get too fat
too basically, quick. How to not get fat, but to add enough muscle.
So, you go.
So, I think with this, obviously you want to be in a surplus, don't you? Like, ideally, you want your calories as high. You basically want your calories as high as you can to make sure you're able to get in the gym, you're able to train hard, you can recover well, you're not hungry.
Yeah.
Everything's good, basically.
Digestion's good, sleep's good.
Yeah, without it being to excess to the point where you're gaining, like, kilos and kilos a week, because obviously then you get like 6 or 8 weeks in and you're like super fat.
Super fat, you can't breathe, you've got to do a cut, and you might as well have just not bothered.
Because you need to rinse and repeat your off season for quite a long time to actually get
just
any
about
progress.
dragging it out. I think the thing is with like, I mean, you'll know what we do the off season because we've been doing it for years now, haven't we? So it's probably, I'm assuming you do a similar type of thing with your clients. I'm assuming, just taking it slow.
Yeah.
Just take it slow with the food. That's all it is. Like, there's no this, and this is why off seasons sometimes need a bit longer. Because, like, I think what people don't realise is you can creep yourself so far into a surplus without jumping up body fat too quickly. Like, you don't even realise how far of a surplus you're into. You're not, just because you're not gaining weight, don't mean to say you're only 200 calories above your maintenance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why some of the jumps into prep where you drop the food out quite quick have to be a little bit, oh, that was quite a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To actually get things moving, because you've done it so slowly. So if you're adding 50 calories a week, 100 calories every couple of weeks, like, that might seem like knack all when you're knocking your plan up, but over the months and months and months and months, you're getting your calories up and up and up and up, and your body's adapting to taking it on board. It's not thinking, oh shit, I need to store this as fat because there's too much energy coming in. It'll take it there, and that's why you can get up to these 3,500, 4,000 calorie off seasons still in relative composition. And people ask me like that, they're like, how do you have them still looking all right and they're eating so much? Just time. It just takes time.
Yeah.
And then when you get to that certain point, it starts to look a bit much, or the digestion starts to get a bit knacked, or they're feeling a bit sluggish, and everything, you just, all them indicators start to come when you've just had enough. Do you know what I mean? And then it's just pull it down quite sharply, take a bunch of body fat off for 6 weeks or whatever, sometimes 8 maybe, get some shit off, and then start going again. Yeah. And that's how you kind of rinse and repeat it.
Yeah.
So you're not getting too much body fat, and that's why coming out the reverse thing's important, because otherwise your fat's up quite high. You've got to go for ages with that little building process that we just spoke about, even though you're already fat.
Yeah.
And then the cut that you've got to do is actually quite long to get back to a decent point, to then restart doing all them little steps again back up. And that's why people are dead keen on the reverse, not just for a mental aspect point from going from shredded to like fat. It's also important because that's where the time wasting thing comes in. So that's where you end up wasting some of your off season because you've messed up that beginning bit. But it kind of is what it is sometimes with that as well. But that's how I get run through the off seasons anyway.
Just take it steady.
Just take it steady. And some people do sit at higher body fat. Like we had this chat the other day, didn't we? We was talking about it.
Some people just stay quite lean, don't they? Even when like all the time. And and I guess some people like mentally, like are very, very rigid with their off season, like not their off season. Well, I guess their off season as well, but they're like they're reversing their off season. They're like on it to an absolute T. Whereas I guess some people are a bit more flexible, so things come up a little bit quicker. Yeah,
possibly a little bit quicker. And I think usually when they've been fatter, when they've been younger, trying to think of a polite word for fatter, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've been heavier when they've been younger. So if they've been like a bit of a fatter person and then they've got into bodybuilding, I always found them girls, when you try and push them up, the weight, it just wants to jump up quicker because I think it's been there before and the cells are there and everything like that. It'll just come up. You know what I mean? So I found that a lot. Or you'll do a mini cut with somebody to take it off, to start taking steps slowly, and then it'll come back on quite quickly again. And all the rest of it. And then so you've just got to kind of take that into account. If you've got one of them clients that sits super high, you're gonna have to do a long prep.
Yeah.
And there's not much you can do about it. I mean, they're few and far between. There's not loads of them. Do you know what I mean? But you've kind of got to take that into account. And then you've got to say, right, we're going to have to do like a 30-week prep with a break.
A 3-year prep for you.
Yeah, a decade prep. But like a longer prep for like where you'll just have a break in the middle, so you're not having to get the chance to come back up again. You're just pulling back up to kind of maintenance and allowing it to sit and maybe try and creep it slightly, but basically just letting the body reset itself before you start coming in again. Because as you know, if you just go in deficit, it's going to break down at some point. Or you're going to run out of calories to pull or cardio to give or whatever it is. You're going to run out of tools, aren't you? So that would be how to plan them people. But yeah, in general, I get that comment quite a lot actually. Like you keep them quite well in the off season, to be fair. It's just planning, mapping it out, knowing when your next show is going to be, knowing when you're going to roughly take your breaks and mini cuts and this and that and all the rest of it. Have that pegged out, and obviously that can be flexible as well. Like if you like get to a certain point and you've not got that fat, and you're still starving or you still got a good appetite, like you don't have to take that mini cut if it's not there yet. But you just got to maybe take into consideration that if you do start prepping 6 months, have we got 6 months of this left? Is it worth just taking one anyway, just so we can reset and go again? And like
just
that.
So you're not starting prep and you've got like loads and loads of weight to lose.
Too much because you didn't take it, or you're trying to do a mini cut too close to the beginning of the prep, or you're then having to extend the prep to a longer prep. Because do you get what I mean? So it's just kind of marking that out. So what's best for the client and what have you.
That sums it up.
Yeah, I think that does just sum it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel like that was very in depth.
Yeah.
So basically, I think what helps with that, as well, is I never used to do this before I was working with you. I didn't really have an off season, but when I wasn't dieting, I was like, no diet. I would just like eat whatever I wanted basically every day.
Or not.
I was either dieting and like following a plan and kind of hitting everything, or I was like, I'll just eat what I fancy today. Like there was, there was like no structure. So I think, when you've structured it and you've got like your meal timings and you've got kind of the same meals that you eat in, I feel like that keeps everything in like a
I think that's optimal. And
well.
going back to like we probably spoke about before, like we do the 3 calories thing.
I love that. That's the best thing ever.
That's what they all say. So you've got your meal plan, and then you've got your 3 calories on top of it. So you never really feel like you shouldn't feel like you're dieting in the off season. You shouldn't be. I had a conversation with somebody the other day, a call, and there was like, I just feel like I'm in prep, but I'm in my off season. There was like having to fill out all the Google sheets where there was like getting weighed every day, filling in the mood every day, filling in the what, like bam, 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 like all this. I don't want people to feel like that in the off season. Do you know what I mean? I don't really want them to feel like that in prep, to be honest. I don't think it's good at all. But that's a different kind of worms. But like the off season, like you're not going to see long as a bodybuilder if you're doing that. You are going to burn out in a year or two. You're going to burn out, and it might be like, I'm doing it next level because I'm doing this and that, and I need this and that. You're just going to burn out, man. It doesn't need to be like that. I promise. It doesn't.
I think it kind of looks like that though. Sometimes from the, when you see some people and it's like everything's being hit bang on all the time, and it's like with bodybuilding, obviously it takes time to build the muscle and get good as a bodybuilder. So surely it's a little bit better being maybe like 80%, 85% all the time.
Or just factor it in. I'll just factor it in. Like we just said, like if 80% of your diet's from clean food, then put the calories on the 20%, so they've got a limit, so you're still within your gauge. But you can have whatever you want. So if you want to have a packet of Watsits, have a packet of Watsits. If you want to have an apple, have an apple. Not that there won't be an apple in your plan, but because I always say when I'm setting people up, I say the same example. I say if you want to have it through Space Raiders and Twixes, you can have it through Space Raiders and Twixes. If you want to have it through apples and oranges, you can have it for apples. I don't care. Just make sure that amount of calories is right and the meal plan's hit. And you get people that have come. I've had a few new clients in the last month that have come, and like they've told me where the calories is at. And it can't have been, because as soon as I put them on that, they've started dropping. Because they must have been eating out. Well, they said to me, a couple of them actually, that I was eating outside the plan with my health coach. Do you know what I mean?
You'd lose your head though, wouldn't you? If you were like in off season and all you were eating was like chicken and potatoes.
Yeah, fuck that. I said like,
I'd go mad.
I'll say like, if you want to go to your nana's house and she offers you a biscuit, you got to be able to have a biscuit. Like that's important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when you've said no to so many meals and foods.
How are you going to go there like off season to fuck like this and sit in your nana's house and she goes, "Do you want a rich tea, Daniel?" And you're like, "No, I'm a bodybuilder. I can't have a rich tea biscuit." I thought you was in your bulking phase. Yeah, so to the milligram. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to do that, are you? Or you shouldn't be doing that anyway. You shouldn't be doing that. I based all that when I built all that 3 calories thing. When I started doing it a few years ago, I don't know if anyone else was doing it. I'd not seen anybody doing it until I started doing it, and it was actually just based off how I used to bodybuild when I was bodybuilding. So in the off season, I don't know if I said this before on one of these podcasts or not, but I used to have all my meals with me all the time at work. So I worked on building site anyway, so I had all my meals with me. And then I just ate what I fucking wanted outside that. And that's the way the old school did it anyways. Do you know what I mean? They want none of that how it is now. It wasn't like it is. I made sure I had all my taters, rice, chicken, oats, all the stuff that I was meant to eat. Then if I went to shop on my break time or whatever, I have a pepperami, man. I want a pepperami. I'm having a pepperami. Do you know what I mean? Or if I want to have a Twix, I'm having a Twix. And that's how I did my off-season. And then as soon as I started prep, obviously just cut all that shit out and just had my meal plan that I had to start with. And guess what? I started losing weight, like magic. So that's what I do with all my clients now, but under a controlled manner.
Yeah, because that works quite well because it gives people like a cap as to like you know, you can have some chocolate or whatever, but this is how...
Don't eat a full pack of biscuits every night, do you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, or this or that or whatever. So it gives them some freedom, and then they can do this and that.
And then you're still getting, like, all the stuff you need, like your protein, your veg, whatever. You're still hitting everything from, like, a...
You get all the building
training
blocks.
and, like, performance perspective, but then you've got, like, a bit what you fancy on the side.
You get all the good stuff to build and grow and energise and all the rest of it, and health. And
it's nice to just to go out and, like, you know when you go out and you get a nice coffee.
That's what I'm saying.
And, like, you have, like, your cappuccino with your little chocolate sprinkles on top.
That's my version of pepperami. A bit of an animal.
Pepperami. Oh, God, no. I'd rather have my cappuccino. And then you get the little biscuit on the side.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. You can have all that stuff. You shouldn't be having to restrict yourself from that in the off-season. Or the thing is, if it's not on your plan, or you've got a coach or not, and then you're checking in, and you're obviously, they're not going to mention it. No. They're not going to say, I had this and that this week. The people don't. Do you know what I mean? They just so then the coach is not knowing what. Yeah. It just keeps communication open, and then they'll tell me. And like, I do like to think the majority of my clients are very honest. You know what I mean? They'll tell me if they've knacked something up, and that's, excuse me, because I give them that, and then they know when it comes to prep. Bosh, it's all gone. But they're all right because they've had it all year. Yeah. Big cheat meal every week, a couple of 1,000 calories, that's always on there. Yeah. Some people who are really pushing up will sometimes have 2 a week.
God, I hope mine gets it too.
It's a little bit rare. It's a little bit rare, but I do have some of them having to do it to try and get the weight up.
I had all my 3 calories last year on banana bread because my mum kept making homemade banana bread.
I thought you bananas then.
I had 600 calories of bananas. No, I was literally eating banana bread every day, and it was the best thing ever.
Last time, I think it was on lockdown when she was making
it. Everyone was bashing out banana breads, weren't they, in lockdown? Everyone was like going mad on the bacon.
Everyone was a baker, weren't they?
Yeah. And I was just smashing banana bread every day.
Sounds all right, though. It worked.
It's great. Oh, yeah, so...
That was what was that off? It'll keep how to grow in the off-season.
That's
how to do it good, and just take it slow. Just take it super slow.
Yeah, to control body weight and training. To really add muscle mass.
Yeah. Eat within your plan.
Yeah.
And go slow.
Follow your plan. I think that's the biggest thing.
Was there a training section to it? Was there
I think it was just to I think it was basically saying, how do you do that without getting fat and optimise your training?
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that will optimise your training. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you've got your good pre and post workout meal in there and everything like that. Swipe. Oh.
You're on Tinder. She's on Tinder. She's not really. Stop looking. There's people on there looking for you now.
Oh, the good old days. What are your current plans?
Oh,
don't know. It just went on there.
I'm just doing podcasts this afternoon. What about you? Your current plans, innit? We'll do both our current plans.
Yeah, let's do both current plans.
Because mine will be less bodybuilding related, although it will be bodybuilding related.
You can talk about your new training stuff.
Yes, that rehab is going very well. I've been with the dude for 2 weeks now. And I'm already noticing do
you feel more mobile?
Yeah, big differences already. He's got me doing things he's got me doing mad shit, to be fair.
What sort of stuff have you been doing?
So basically,
I'm intrigued.
Basically, my body was just fucked. It just didn't work. There was loads of misfiring throughout the full body. There was stuff switched off for years and when I was so big, I could just never get on top of any of this stuff. Once I'd fucked it, it was kind of fucked. Now I'm smaller and all the rest of it. I've stopped training for a little bit. It's been easy to get in, but he's just putting everything back right, so it's working. So my left glute didn't fire, and I could have bollocks ever get it fired up properly, which always caused me little quad tears and stuff like that because it wasn't firing up through squats and blah blah blah. All my serratus, mainly through the left, was just locked. So that didn't allow my shoulder mobility and things like this. And this is all stuff that ease up. It's kind of stuff that I'd picked up on myself, but not put the puzzle together all in one piece. And as you know, I've got really good physio. Yeah. You've used him a lot of times. He's brilliant.
Shout out David.
Shout out to Big David. But I've never had anyone in the gym to especially because when you're bodybuilding training, you haven't really got the time to put into it. He's fucking been smoking me, to be fair. My fucking glutes and that are killing. He's got me tied up to bands and doing this and that and one-legged squats, and he got me with these bands wrapped around my frigging big toes doing them. Remember them they still do them anyway. You know when girls do them crab walks up and down the track with a band around the knees and stuff like that. Ones. Yeah, he's got that around my 2 big toes because they're not. My feet aren't working properly, he's saying, so that's straightening them out to be able to open up properly so that then my body will... Yeah. And in 2 weeks, honestly, I feel so much better.
Oh, that's so good.
I know, so I'm
looking for... As if it's worked that quick.
I know.
Or started to work.
Yeah, so in another couple of months... I'm that guy now in the gym that's got a kettlebell like that, and I'm walking up and down the track and trying... that guy, that's me now.
The functional guy.
Yeah, the functional guy, trying to get things working again, so he's got me doing some magic. But I'm listening to him.
Yeah.
He's clever. He's clever.
It's so interesting. I find it so interesting. All that
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't know if I said to you last time, but he'd been over and trained with that. Have you seen that documentary? I think it's on Netflix or Prime. That West Side Barbell Club in America. It's where all like the strength athletes in America came from in like the 80s and 90s. And there was that Louis Simmons who ran it. And he's very clever, and he's started taking all the powerlifters on. They become all the best powerlifters in America.
Yeah.
He'd been over to train with him, and that. And he's just learned loads of stuff from it. Like it's mad.
That would be cool though, because I guess you can learn stuff then and like apply it to like clients and stuff.
100%. I mean, I learned loads from my own problems when I was competing and learning try and fix them, and through David and other physios that I'd worked with and stuff like that. Some good lads. And I've applied that a lot with like yourself. When you first came to me, I was like,
you
what the
draw
fuck?
lines on it.
Yeah, like lines written all of your check-in pitch. Like, what's this? Like, you need to sort this, and this. And that was really helpful to me. So I suppose this is going to become even more helpful now. Because you pick up on stuff through things like saying, oh, this is airting, that's airting. This feels like this when I'm doing that. Because I've been through it. But now I'm going to know even more. There are people with bands tied around the toes and that.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, that's going all right. But what else am I up to? I think
you're chilling. You've got some time off.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of time off. Obviously, it was absolutely manic leading into the World Championships and all that stuff at the end of the season. December for me is getting my personality back to alive again, because I was dead by the end of it, like I told you before. All my emotions are just like completely frazzled to death, and I don't have any emotions left. And then I start feeling myself again in December. Then we've got January, February, March. Then the shows kick off again in April. So that time of year for me, I love my job, right? And I love the season, and I buzz when everyone's competing. Like, it is a massive buzz. I won't want to do it 12 months a year, though. Them months to me, December, January, February, March, I love them, because it's like I'm not away at any shows on a weekend. There's not loads of like extra work volume from all the double check-ins and weekly check-ins and all like that. So I get a lot more time with like my daughter. And just stuff like that. And I can socialise a little bit more with my pals and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw you went out the other day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I went on the piss, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah, I went to York, went out on the train, started at 9 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and finished at 11 at night. I was all right the next day.
Oh, that's good.
The key is Disaronno. People won't listen to me. Drink the Disaronno, you don't get hangover.
Did you just stick to your one drink? One type of drink?
Well, I was a little bit hungover because I was doing sambucas a lot as well. I was celebrating, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I'd been let out. Because I can't drink through the year.
No.
I can't drink. I can drink, but I wouldn't want to, because it affects the way you think, doesn't it? And I need my brain to prep everyone properly and to the best and that. So I don't go out and drink or drink at home or anything. But yeah, I went out. Got another property last week, or the week before, last week. Yeah, last week exciting. I think. Yeah, I got another property that landed in my lap, and I wasn't even expecting that one. It was just one I'd been to see about 9 months ago, something like that. Someone just WhatsApped me and was like, "We're selling that now if you want it."
Oh, wow!
I wasn't planning on, but all right, yeah, I'll have it. So that started going through. The other one's nearly finished. That's ready to got tenants to go in probably early January, and then this one will complete. Probably about 2 weeks later, so I'll be off again. This one needs a lot of work to it. Like, it's
smashing it.
It'll be a back to brick again.
Little side biz, big side biz.
Side hustle, innit? Yeah. Keep me occupied.
All the spare time you've got now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing actually with this one. I've done all the others myself up to now, but this one I've got someone to quote me that is site manager.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Project manager. I just thought. Yeah. This last one's been neglected that much because of the British and the Welsh, because of when it landed. Yeah. I can't afford to leave houses just sat because I'm stomped down with other stuff, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I've got project manager involved on that. Wow. And that just means he'll ring me every couple of days and say, this is happening, that's happening, this is happening, that's happening. I don't have to be there that much. I don't have to arrange any people. Yeah. He's going to do all that, so he'll just be my point of contact. So
that's so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. I liked doing that though, but it's this season's just showed me I can't. Yeah. Unless it lands perfectly in like January, February, March, or August, I've not got the spare time to do it.
And then you can actually have some time off as well.
Yeah.
To chill.
Yeah, chill a little bit. Never chill too much. That's what I mean. When one thing stops, another thing starts.
Yeah. We're saying this, weren't we? It's like we always have to have something like going on all the time. I know. It's like as soon as you finish one thing, it's like, right, what's next?
I know. And I'm always looking for other stuff. I was nearly setting up another company last month, but we decided not to go through with it, which was, when police recovery. So, when cars break down, things run out and like the police come and pick them up. I had an opportunity to look at with a guy that I knew that was doing that as a business, but not for the police. He told me about this police contract that you could get. So I was looking into that. I was going and viewing land and pricing up.
Wow.
Filling out, because you've got to have these big like sheds with ramps in them and police, for like the crime units and all that. And you've got to have a big
This
bit
is
of
so cool.
I know. You've got to have a big bit of land that was like 200 cars and this and that, so you could fit on it, so they could store it, and then people are coming. It's big business. It's good business from what we're thinking. I got in touch with the police. I managed to found someone to speak to somebody who was in charge of it and all like that. And when it all come down to it, it's like they just was saying that we can't guarantee that you'll get the contract, because the contract's up for renewal in about 3 months, I think, 4 months. So we had the right amount of time to set up, and I was going in on it with my mate as well. I brought my mate in to get involved because it was a big job and a big cash input as well. And when it come down to it, we was just like, if we don't get the police contract, we'll be a lot of money in with nothing to do with it. Do you get what I mean? Because you'd have to buy like the big wagons that come and pick them up, the ones that get them off the road and all that. Like,
I've never even heard of. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, well, neither did I. But I got talking to this pickup guy who picked me up in my car when my car broke down, and he was telling me about it. And I'm straight away, my brain's like,
how can I make this a business?
Yeah, so I took his number, went off and did a little bit of homework, and then I come back to him, and he was obviously up for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all for taking risks. I take a lot of risks. I'm very like, just do it. Do you know what I mean? But that was a couple of $100,000 worth of risk.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Would have just been
not just a bit of cash.
And it's not something where I would have gone, all right, well, we'll just do this with it. Like, because when we looked into all the money side of it for what them guys make just for picking up for normal business, there's nothing in it, or nothing in it to be shared for investors. Do you know what I mean? So we sacked that off.
Maybe you'll pack.
But something else will come up. But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Brain's always like, it's onto something else, something else will come up, and it'll probably pay off. But I don't know if I can do a third one, but I'm still going to try.
Of course.
Yeah, so that was happening. Obviously, I kept all that bit under my hat, like, because I don't like to talk about stuff unless it comes off.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't come off. But I'm telling you in hindsight now. But
yeah,
that was what was going on the other month, whilst all the British and stuff was going on as well.
Just what you need.
Yeah, that was going on while all the British season and stuff was going on. So yeah, fun though, but
yeah, that's that.
I have no recovery business. So if you need picking up if you break down, don't ask me. I'll get the number of the guy.
Everything going off in your life. So that's what's going on.
Yeah, that was going on, yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to and what I am up to. Obviously, taking on a bundle of new clients for 2024.
Yeah.
Got some good clients competing in 2024 as well.
Yeah.
Early season, that's about to kick off. People's preps and stuff pretty much after Christmas. Couple on prep, as we say. Everyone's lined up nicely. So I've got no worries at all about people being ready on time, which is obviously as a prep coach, that's what a lot of your focus is spent time on, making sure everybody's ready on time. I've got no anxiety with that. I'm good.
What's that?
Yeah.
I've just started prepping my first few girls to 2024 as well.
Which shows? May?
I've got, May. I've got a couple doing the UK GFBA in May. Mm-hmm. And then a couple doing the PCA natural one in June.
I've got a few doing that. And they're waiting to see if one comes out at the end of the year as well, which I think they will bring one out at the end of the year. That'll be popular, that.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that they've done that.
Yeah, it's sick. And I feel like... Yeah. I did pick up on it, but I didn't. And I kind of, when they announced it, I thought, oh yeah, like, I don't think all the natties love the natty feds.
Yeah, because PCA is a great federation to compete
and I think
for.
a lot of the natties think, oh, I wish I could compete there, which like loads of natties do, don't get me wrong. I've got loads of naturals that win overalls and whatnot at the PCA, so it's not like natties can't do it, but not all of them can, do you know what I mean? And I feel like as soon as that got put out, I just seen all the natty names just like bop, 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 bop in the comments, and I was like, oh wow, so that's going to end up a big thing, that, because like the natty feds are all right in that, but like they're a bit old school, I think, in some of the way the shows are run and like things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, or unless it's just more option for them to do, I suppose.
Yeah.
And take part in a good show.
Yeah, because the PCA shows are really good, aren't they?
They're the best ones, aren't they? Like, let's be honest.
They're like fun shows.
Yeah, best shows, best ran out of any of the shows, best photography, which is a big thing.
And you get a sword.
And you get a sword if you win all the big stuff sword as well, yeah. Yeah, a gold sword. All the different types of swords you've got there.
Will's still fuming because he's only got one sword.
Yeah, it's a gold one though. It's a gold one, yeah. What qualifier did he do?
Who?
Will. He did the week before British, didn't he?
Yeah, but he didn't. Did he win that? No, he didn't win that.
Oh yeah, he come second, didn't he? Yeah,
so he
to Marcel, wasn't it? Was it Marcel?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Marcel.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got. Oh God! Did you see my head keeps twitching? Did you see that?
I didn't see.
My head keeps doing right. I've got a really sorry. This is diverging off topic. I've got a really tight trap here, and I keep when I train. You know, when you train and you get that thing where you get
like
really bad like pain in your head. I think it's like a pressure point. And I keep getting a really bad pain in the back of my head here when I push hard, like on my last few reps. And now my head keeps twitching like this. I'm like sat like this.
I didn't notice. No, I just thought it was off your meds.
Oh God. Okay, maybe it's just me that noticed that. I've got 4. I think I've got 2. I've not got loads next year. I think I've got 2 at the start and 2 at the end. But then I've got 9 in 2025 now.
9 in 2025.
Which I feel like I'm really happy with that.
Yeah. So say that again. So you got 2 at the beginning.
Yeah, 2 at the end.
And 2 at the end. So you got 4 next year.
I think I've got 4 next year so far.
You'll have some join you early in the year.
4 or 5.
And then you'll end up with like 10 at the end of the year. That's what'll happen.
I hope so. And then I've got like 9. I think it's 9 or 10 for 2025 now.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I seem to have a lot for 2025 as well, lined up. I feel like a lot that have come off the back of this back end of this season. I'm like saying to everyone, 2025 in the conversations. And I'm thinking in my head, there's a lot of people that seem to be doing that beginning of that 2025 season. You know what I mean?
You're going to have your work cut out.
Yeah, I know. I like working out. Tip to any prep coach that's got quite a few clients competing, don't ever work out how many they are because you frighten yourself to death. Wait and then see.
I've got a few clients now who like joined me like as lifestyle clients, or we went through like a fat loss phase or whatever. And then when they've like got into it, we're like, actually, like you could go into competing, and then they've kind of transitioned going into it.
That's pretty cool, to be fair, because you can see what the physique's like before you actually commit to them competing. Yeah, because if they've not got great shape, there's probably not a lot of point in them competing, is there? But if they've got great shape and you're seeing that on mini cuts, then it's worth like you got like a talent recruitment business, aren't you? I
know. I'm getting everyone together. No, but it's so cool. You know, when you get someone and they're like, they just look like. Trying to say this in a nice way. They're not like in shape.
Yeah.
And they diet down, and then they're just there, and you're like, oh my God, like where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like it's so cool, isn't it?
It's the best thing ever. Yeah, that used to get me all the time. Still gets me sometimes now. I think, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah.
That's the best.
I'm excited for that because that means next year, obviously in off season, not got to diet, not got to do all the cardio and stuff, and it means I can just really focus on that and like grow it more for like going into 2025. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah,
and a big off season.
Yes, and a big off season for you.
Yeah.
So we sat doing your check-ins like this.
Oh God.
Like, oh.
can't see my laptop because my face has got too fat.
Crumbs all over your laptop. Yeah. What do you mean you're hungry? Take it.
Oh God, yeah. So that'll be fun, and gonna try and get all the way through 2024 without dieting.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because we've got a plan anyway. What do you mean let's try and do it? That's the plan. We've got a plan written down. You'll be all right. We'll get you nice and thick in 2024. Get some good size on, and then we'll just do it in 2 blocks across 25.
Yeah, doing a big prep.
Yeah. Like we call it a big prep, I suppose, but it's like 2 preps in it. Pre-prep.
Yeah, like
it's like a natty prep, really.
A pre-prep phase before the actual prep.
Yeah, we'll just get you down to a good point and then let you sit there for ages before we go again. That's what I think.
Yeah, so that's the plan.
I think that's the best for your physique, in my opinion.
That's the plan of action, which I'm excited for. And then I've got loads of travelling stuff next year as well, which I'm quite looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. You're off to Thailand?
I'm going to Thailand we're going to do Thailand and Vietnam, and then when you look into it, I did not realise how big Thailand and Vietnam are.
Yeah, I think the big places like.
Yeah. Like you get it's all trees and monkeys. You get like a train somewhere and it's like 14 hours to get to a different part of Thailand.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's big.
Yeah, so we're going there for 3.5 weeks, and then we're going to Iceland for Will's 30th for a weekend.
Going to what?
Iceland.
Oh, for Will's 30th.
Yeah.
I thought you said Thor's 30th. I was like, what?
My other boyfriend
Thor. Yeah, buzzing. What month's that?
Well, his birthday's on New Year's Day. But we're going in March.
Are you going in March? You won't be back long then. You'll be going straight to Iceland.
God. That's only a weekend though. So
is
right.
it?
Yeah. And then we've got Ibiza in summer.
Oh, get the raving on.
Get the raving on. Hopefully not.
She won't be dieting for 2024, but she'll come back ripped from Ibiza.
Oh God, yeah. I'm going to be going to Ibiza in full off-season mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the plan basically. Get massive. Oh, this is a good question.
Oh. What? Were the other ones not good questions?
The other one were good statements.
Whoever asked that, she thinks your questions was bad.
What is... Sorry, no, wait, let me rephrase. What is good genetics for a PCA bikini girl, a figure girl, and a hybrid?
What is good genetics? I always have trouble explaining these in words.
You know what it is? When you're looking at it, you can look at someone.
Yeah, I can just look at stuff
and be like, yep.
I know what's what and I know what to do. But then
how do you explain it?
Yeah, then sometimes somebody asks things, I think, well, because they are.
They just look good and that's that.
They look good, can't you see it?
Yeah.
So, figure, obviously you want more taper, don't you? So you want good sweeping quads, you want small waist, good taper, big capped round delts, good wide back with some density in it, and nice shape. Now, how you determine nice shape in words? You tell me, Leah. I don't know. You're smarter than me. But
good X frame.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that was in the explanation itself, wasn't it? But like, just everything just nice and round, and it just looks pleasing to the eye. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't look too scraggy. Then bikini. I suppose for PCA is a similar sort of thing, really. I mean, a lot of the girls have got X frames anyways because they've got like the backs judged in it, whereas like in the other ones, IFBB and that, they don't judge the back, do they?
I mean, even bikini now is like a lot of muscle. Yeah. So I guess
it's developed a lot.
Yeah, I guess the thing with that is you just need to have a decent amount of muscle and a nice shape.
Yeah.
Like, and as long as
it's just, I always just think if just the poses suit you, you just stand in the poses, you either look good or you don't look good.
Yeah.
That's the class that you want to go in.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of girls who I've had who have been hybrids. There's the term that we've coined for that, or the coined term. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the term we've coined for that, definitely. And yeah, it just means basically you look good in both sets of poses. That's all it really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's some girls that some girls that even got X frames really like. I think Jo would be a good example. I don't think Jo Watson.
Oh yeah.
I don't think she'd ever suit figure. Do you know what I mean? I don't think she'd look good in them poses.
Yeah.
Even though she's got a big X frame for bikini. Do you know what I mean? So it just, I mean, I might be wrong. I've not seen her in them poses, but I just don't feel like she would. So it's not always, it's just, you just know when they stand there in front of you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes, and as you know, with people like Alex Regan and whatnot last year, when they come and like, they want to do a bikini, and then they're doing bikini poses. And then she come to see me in real life, or this has happened a lot on the check-ins as well. Sometimes I'll go, just do a figure pose. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, fucking hell, I'd look good in that, you know? And she's like, oh, I've been thinking that, but I didn't want to say it out to you. And I'm like, you should have said, because we was 11 weeks out and then we changed classes. And obviously she did really well in figure, didn't she? And she won a bunch of stuff and all the rest of it. And she's a good figure girl, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she looks really good.
But she wanted to train bikini originally.
Oh, really?
That's what she originally wanted to do, yeah. And I said, I don't know if we'll quite make train, but we'll make normal bikini, don't we? We'll see what you like when you come down. You don't know until people come down. Yeah,
I saw her in one of the NFM shows, actually, in real life.
Yeah, she won there, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won there. But yeah, it's just when they stand in front, like, so that's, I mean, I suppose all same genetics, but then just what you look like in the poses.
Yeah.
Really. Just get into some poses, man.
Do you think genetics plays like a big role in bodybuilding? Like, we were saying this the other day, weren't we? Like, not everyone can
even do a show. Yeah, not even everyone can do a show. Never mind do well in a show.
Yeah.
Like you've had, like I said to you the other day, like when we was chatting, like not everyone can just play basketball. Not everyone can throw like the basket in the hoops, or whatever, but like, or not everyone can run fast or even run at all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but then everyone assumes that everybody can do bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Is a bit mental, really, because you've got to be able to get down to the right amounts of fat. You've got to be able to have the right mental capabilities to do it, because it's not an easy thing to do. You've got to be able to have the capability to train hard, grow muscle, like all these things. And obviously there's a lot of people competing, but it doesn't mean to say every single person can do it. And I've had them clients, do you know what I mean? I have had them clients where I've had to say, like, it's not for you, like.
Yeah, and I guess like genetically as well, some people's bodies just find it really hard to get that lean and to like.
Or to grow any muscle.
Yeah.
As some poor girls, I've had them in the past where they've been women like, they've been doing it for like 4, 5, 6 years and they still barely got any muscle at all. Like, and it's like, then you'll have somebody come along who's like a lat, then 6 months later, they're on stage. Do you know what I mean? They're just gone boom, like exploded in front of my eyes. I've had plenty of them clients as well, and I'm like, I think one of my clients, Sammy, was not that she was like a lap, but Sammy, my bikini girl who done this year, won the Midlands show. She started with me, I think, in January this year, and I said, yeah, we'll be doing mid to end of 24.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, sound. Then 6 weeks later, I was like, you can compete this year if you want. Because she just went boom, and she was still ripped. She was still ripped, and I was like, Jesus Christ, where that come? Like, you don't know what's going to happen until you start coaching someone. Always, do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I guess some people like genetically are just like made for it, aren't they? Really,
you can't always tell. And like, when someone will come and like they stand there in these and then stood to one side like this and that, and like, and you're like trying to see like, do you know what I mean? Like you can't really tell where they're at until they start posing. So you get a lot of that as well. But you just. Like genetics is everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And then on top of that, it's how hard you work. On top of that, because somebody with average genetics can definitely beat someone with great genetics if one's working hard as shit and the other one's lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But if on equal terms, if both are working equally as hard, genetics.
Yeah, definitely. But you can still like even if you maybe not got the best genetics in the world, like you could still go into it with the goal of like improving, and if you enjoy it.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you if you enjoy
doing
it.
For yourself and just progressing and seeing how far you could get with it as well.
Photo shoots, and if you haven't quite got the point where you can get on stage, then that is what it is. But I think I don't know if I want to say the majority, but because I think I'm basing it on my own client base when I'm thinking about this, so I don't want to speak too broadly. But like I think like a good majority of people can get on stage. Yeah, do you know what I mean? From my experience with the girls that come to me anyways, it's very rare that I get someone that can't do it, but they're probably already at that point where they know they can do it, I suppose. Yeah. You would probably be able to give a better insight to that than me because you get all the lifestyle ones, don't you? Yeah. But yeah, not everyone can compete, but you can damn sure always improve yourself, always look better, eat better, train harder. There's always more to give. Yeah, but unfortunately it is a sport of genetics.
Yeah, we answered that question right at the start, basically. And then went on a...
Well, yeah, we can't just answer them with 3 words because the podcast will be over in 5 minutes, won't it? Someone will have gone for a cup of tea and come back and we're finished.
What is a good genetic for a PC figure girl? Shoulders, next.
Yeah, shoulders, small waist, big legs, next.
Quick fire round. This is a very long question. What's preferable and going to get better results? The client who is very disciplined and can stick to a diet and follow the plan to a T, but does it just to compete or for the gram, or the client who maybe falls off now and...
Again. And then trains
is that
harder.
Going to say again?
It'll say and falls off now and again and then trains harder.
But has a genuine love for training and trains hard. I can't remember the start of the question by the time I've got to the end of the question.
Yeah, so it's basically someone who sticks to the plan all the time, but trains like a bit of a fanny, or... someone who falls off the plan now and again, but trains like mental.
Right, yeah.
Somewhere in the middle. Next question, please, Bob.
That's your answer.
Next question, please, Bob.
Next.
He said, well, it's genetic.
It's kind of a combo, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a combo of everything. Like you want, like it shouldn't be a choice. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure that basically. The person, right, this is the answer to it.
All right.
The person who sticks to the plan 100% of the time and trains like a fanny might look all right, but they'd look better if they trained hard as fuck. Yeah. The person who trains hard as fuck and loves training, but falls off the plan now and again, would look better if they stuck to the plan all the time. And that's the end of that.
You can't really say much more about that, can you?
No, unless they're saying like... I don't know what they're saying, to be fair. I don't know if it's it's like semi-passive aggressive, to be fair. I think they're probably thinking about someone. I'm only joking.
I think they're saying, is it better to stick to the nutrition or the training? But you need a combo of both.
Both. Because the training, like... The training, like, determines how much you grow, how much, like, the way you look, and obviously all the rest of it. And so does the nutrition. So, like... You need both of them. You know what I mean? What's that? You can't.
I'm just getting laughing at this next question. If DW retired, which coach would you choose?
Why do people always ask this?
People are nosy.
Yeah. Why do they always ask that? They always used to do that on people's questionnaires and that, and they'd send me it, and I'm like, I'm not posting that. I'm like, it's such a bizarre thing. Like saying, like, I don't know. I can't even think of a comparison.
You're not going to retire anyway by the time I've done competing, so it's all right.
No, I've probably got a little bit more time left in the game than you. I've got a good 4. I've got a good 4 years before I start downsizing from what I'm doing. I've said it. I've said like as soon as I hit 40, I'll start pulling back a little bit.
How old are you now?
37.
Oh, another 3 years.
Yeah, I'd probably be 41 though. So I've set 4 years in my head from this year. So I've said kind of like 41. I'll start pulling back a little bit.
Yeah,
because like as easy as online coaching can look. And I think it is if you're not in the competitive scene heavily. Like, I think it's fairly chilled. Obviously, as you know, it can be stressful because, like, you're always trying to get new clients and you've got to think of content, blah, blah, blah. And, like, all these things, like, what we would probably call them first world problems.
Yeah, but, like, any job has the stress attached to it in some way, doesn't it?
Like, that's just running a business. Like, that's just normal stress. But being under the gun with competitors year-round and lots of competitors...
It's, like, next level.
Yeah, it's high stress. Like, and I don't feel stress. I'm not someone who like reacts to stress mentally. Does that make sense? So I never like thinking, oh fuck, blah 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 blah, or panic or anything like that. Because I don't think you could do my job if you panicked. Do you know what I mean? You just make stupid decisions and all the rest of it. So I don't like panic or particularly get anxiety or like feel like everything's overly stressful. But that doesn't mean to say that subconsciously it's not taking its toll. And then, like I explained to you at the end of this, like by the end of the season, like you just feel like you've been fucking battered to death, like because it's just constant. There's constant pressure, constant people to make, like getting every single person like to look exactly how they want to look, and that daily pressure of doing that has a toll. Do you know what I mean?
And you can't take your foot off the gas for like weeks and months. You can't take your foot off the gas. You can't
just like have a day off. Do you know what I mean? Like I think I said to you before, I was up at 5:30 every day doing daily check-ins for like 3 months straight. You can't just think, oh, I'll sleep in today.
I'll just
have a day off my phone, or I'll just answer them tomorrow. You can't do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's that getting everything right and being permanently available and traveling to the shows. The stress of the shows of people getting what they want to win. To like people upset when they don't win. People are competing against each other, and one of them's upset, and one of them's like, there's all this stuff like, and it's I'm not like thinking like moaning about it or anything like that because it's part of the game, but like that has a subconscious stress on you.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to be under that pedal for a lot of years. Do you know what I mean? So,
you don't want to be doing that like into your 50s or anything,
no,
do you?
No, because you're probably going to damage you. Do you know what I mean? Because it's quite a lot. You don't realise how stressed you are until it stops.
Yeah.
And then I come out and I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, because I guess you're so like...
Adrenaline.
You're so like hyped up the whole time and then you stop and your body's like... Meh.
Yeah, I just wake up and I'm out of bed, boom, right, where's boom.
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing is like, when you say you're working 7 days a week, it's not like, you don't like wake up in the morning, go downstairs, brush your teeth, play with the dog for a bit, have a look in the garden, chill, go for a walk. Like, then through that part of the season, I wake up and then I'm on my phone. Yeah. It's instant. As soon as I've opened my eyes, I've got all the shit out my eyes, and then I'm like, pop, straight away like that from the minute I wake up. And that's every single day. Yeah. And that does take its toll. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be doing that in 5 years' time.
Definitely not.
So that's one answer to that.
So yeah, we're all good basically because...
We're good for 4 years, we'll be sound.
I don't think I'll be competing after 4 years. So.
No, and if I'm not in an asylum, I'll be all right until then.
So we're all good.
Yeah.
Question for Dan.
I keep answering all your questions anyway.
I know. God, I'm joking. When judging, what on stage jumps out as someone who you can see turning pro?
Better than everybody else.
They look the best.
You just know. Well, with the guys, it's more obvious. Yeah. So you'd have a guy walk out and you're like, holy fuck. Like, and you get some of them now and again where you just know, do you know what I mean? People like one that really stands out from years ago as well. I think we're talking like probably 2017, maybe 16. Dean White. Yeah. And he walked out as a junior and I was just like, fucking. And I was still bodybuilding at the time and I thought, why does he look like that? And he's like 21 or whatever he was. Do you know what I mean? And I've been bodybuilding for like 15 years and I still don't look as good as that. And that's how frustrating it is. Do you know what I mean? And you just think, fucking hell. There's been a few that I've gone through. There was another kid. Mark. And that goes out with Kerry Sexton.
Mark Hector.
Yeah, Mark Hector. Yeah, he was another one.
He is,
He's just like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, that straight away, you know, just from that reaction, that you know when they're going to be a pro.
It's not anything in particular, is it? It's not like a certain thing that jumps out. It's just when they walk out overall, they just look really, really good.
Fucking good. Do you know what I mean? And you can see that in somebody right from... I've seen people in the gym, do you know what I mean? And I've been like, the little kid from Hull, I forget his name, but he's won loads of stuff this year. He's like a natty. I think his name's like Hattersley or something like that. That's his last name, that's his first name. And I'd seen him in the gym like the year before he started competing. And when I was with my mate, and we was like, mate, you need to compete. You need to go compete. Do you know what I mean? I think that's when he was looking at getting into it. And he just won every single thing he's entered this year. Yeah. Men's physique, I think it was that he's done. You see, when someone just walks by you in the gym and you know, do you know what I mean? Yeah. You don't even need to know what you're talking about in bodybuilding to be able to see that. It's just an instant like, whoa.
Someone just looks like they've got a nice shape and they just look really impressive.
And that's the standout kind of guys. Obviously, you get some people that can push hard. And like, I mean, suppose somebody a bit like myself that didn't probably have the best genetics in the world, but I got very big, I got very hard, and I was able to get like pro cards in like PCA and NABRA and what have you, do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. There's plenty of them kind of guys around. Girls-wise, you can often see it, but it depends, because if they're not in shape, you can't see it as much. Yeah. I've had a bundle that like have been placing thirds, fourths, sixths, and I've seen them competing over a few years and been thinking, please just inbox me. Do you know what I mean? And then they have, and then the next thing,
they level up.
Yeah, they're leveling up and they're winning everything, and they've won the Britishes and all the rest of it. Like I've had a good few of them, like, but because I can see it's there, they're just not
utilising it properly.
Yeah, they're not where they're meant to be.
I think there's quite a lot in girls though where it's like they just look like pretty normal, and then they diet down and it's like appears out of nowhere.
Shit. Yeah.
Whereas with guys, I feel like because they tend to
they just
you can just see it more, can't you, in their off season.
Yeah, and they can hit the things and that. But like the girls, like if they're not presenting themselves properly, they can't see what's going on because they need the posing sorting. If they've got imbalances they need sorting. If they're not in condition, if they're not in the right kind of position for the criteria, within the criteria, there's a lot more. Yeah. In a way, there's a lot more different factors to take into account when prepping them to get them in the right place for where they want to be.
Oh, I want a.
You want a what?
I want a good question.
She said that question wasn't good as well.
No, that was fine. I've got a statement. Not a cue, just a comment. There was nothing you could have done better to change the outcome of the world. The standard was high, and pretty much the entire lineup had A+ genetics.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wait, this is a good one. Your death row meal: starter, main, and dessert plus a drink. Let me get my prep list up.
I've been ripped for this in the past because the last time I got asked that one, it was just margarita.
I do love a good margarita.
I love a margarita. What's wrong with liking margarita? You don't have to be a fancy food. No. This is how I defended myself last time. So death row meal, what?
Starter, main, and dessert plus a drink. I know what my drink is.
So starter for me is nachos with all the
good toppings.
All the good toppings, apart from the jalapenos, because fuck that. I'm not made for that.
Do not like
I'm not made for that life, no.
Will thinks tomato ketchup is spicy, so you'd get on well at a meal.
It's got a bit of a bend to it. I know what he means. Too much vinegar. What's your starter?
My starter would be calamari and ali.
Ali what? Calamari, what's that? Squid in it?
Oh, God. Yeah, it's like battered squid.
Yeah. First time I tried that was when we was in Spain.
It's so good.
Yeah, Rob was eating it. Rob LRF. He was like, want some of that? I was like, was it onion rings? Like, no, you daft bastard.
It does look like onion rings. And the garlic dip.
Yeah, I just eating it cold off his plate. So calamari and what?
And alioli. The garlic dip.
Oh, is that what it's called? Right, okay. Main, I'm still going to go pizza.
Margherita pizza.
Ham and mushrooms.
Not bad.
With a Domino's sauce.
Oh, yeah, that is 10 out of 10.
I ain't had Domino's for ages.
Neither have I.
Just expensive, man. Just started getting robbed. You can get the ones in Morrison's for like £5 that are just as nice. You're paying like 30 quid for a pizza, and I'm thinking, you're just robbing me here.
I know what you mean.
So I gave in. Does that mean I'm getting old?
Maybe.
Doesn't it? I'm like, I don't care about paying for no pizza when I'm young. You get to like late 30s, I'm like, I'm not paying that for a pizza.
It is extortionate. I agree. But the cookies are 10 out of 10 as well. The Domino's cookies.
Yeah, they're all right out there, yeah. I don't know about a 10 out of 10. 7?
I love cookies. I love food, let's be honest.
Just glaring at me like, I disagree.
What about your dessert? What would you have for dessert?
I don't really eat desserts. Probably just like good fudge cake, bit of fudge cake, something like that.
Drink?
Don't know.
You know what I would have for my drink? A Five Guys Biscoff milkshake.
I didn't think of milkshakes. Still can't think of none.
Absolutely love them.
Pepsi Max, mango.
With bacon bits in.
Right. Bacon? What, in your shake?
Yeah.
What?
No, have you had that from Five Guys before?
We don't have Five Guys.
Oh, I love Five Guys.
Unless they've put one there recently and all. I don't think they have though, but we've never had one, so it's not something you get to do very much.
I would have a Biscoff shake with bacon bits in as my dessert. As my drink, sorry.
Really? Andy dessert?
No, not as my... I would have a separate dessert.
Banana bread.
Banana bread is one of the options. I would have Biscoff cookie dough. You know when you go to like a little dessert shop and you you said you don't really eat dessert, but you go to the dessert shop and you can get like the half baked cookie dough with like all the toppings on,
I know what you
like
mean.
the skillets.
I'll tell you what I do like, what I ain't had for years, that Ben and Jerry's fish food. I feel like I'm picking very common choices.
Yeah.
I'm not very cultured, am I, with food? Just like burgers and that and pizzas and that.
Standard bodybuilding food.
Probably, yeah.
For my main, I would have oh god, that's hard. No, I would have lasagna.
Yeah,
I love lasagna.
Good. Pretty much like lasagna.
I feel like we've been going on for ages. I've still got a few questions left. Shall we just rinse through these, do you think?
Yeah, I think we're good. I've got an hour and a half till he books us out of the studio.
What part of prep and competing do you enjoy the most?
Part of prep and competing do you enjoy the most? Me? You go.
I love the show day.
Yeah, this is where we're different.
Yeah. I do love the prep as well.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoy the show day. You know, just like being on stage and like,
yeah.
I just enjoy it. Although I feel like the last one, the British, I feel like that I really, really enjoyed that because I feel like I just felt really chilled by the time I got on stage. I feel like at the Universe, I was so nervous because I was like going into athletic for the first time.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, because they had the pump up area, and that's the first time I've been like backstage and been able to see who's on stage. Normally, you're like hidden away, aren't you? Yeah. And I was stood there and I was like, oh my god, everyone looks amazing. What am I doing? Yeah.
The British is good though. You can pump up there. You can see, I could see you there. It's a good setup. Them good setups. Them.
Yeah.
Good days as well.
I sound so bodybuilder in here, but I do just love the whole thing of like, you know, when you like go in your off-season and you get strong and like your training's good and like I love like a routine. So you know, just like getting up and having your little day-to-day routine. Yeah,
it's good. It's good for you. It's quite hard when you stop.
I feel like I couldn't just go to like, I feel like if I stopped bodybuilding, I would still do all the bodybuilder things like pack my food and take my supplements in the morning and all that.
Yeah, it's weird when you stop because you're like, there's no point to it, so then it becomes a bit strange. You know what I mean?
Will was getting ready to go to London yesterday because he's working in London, and he was like getting all his supplements ready, and he puts them in like, you know, like sandwich bags. So he puts his supplements in sandwich bags, and he's like, I just can't stop doing it, and he's like spooning his supplements into his sandwich bag.
Yeah, still bodybuilding.
Yeah, so it is cool though when you get towards the end of a prep, like maybe the last third, and you start really seeing yourself get lean, and you're like, oh my god, I look so cool, and you like tell, and you start to see everything popping through.
Yeah,
because you've worked so hard for so long, and you know the first half of prep, you can't really see.
No.
It's just
then you go through the mushy bit in the middle where you like feel small, but you're not lean yet.
Yeah, and you're like,
shit,
I ain't got any muscle.
Then some stuff starts popping out. Oh yeah, I'm all right.
That bit's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, when you get to like 6 weeks out, whatever, and everything's really starting to pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love it all.
Yeah. I liked all of it, apart from peak week and show day. I could have just put them in the bin.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before.
I could have just put them in the bin. Fucking, once it all stops, I'm like, this is boring. I just want to stop now. I put it in the bin. Show day, fucking hassle. Getting tanned with a sock on. And just not for me. I didn't really mind, I suppose, the bit that you go on stage. That was kind of, it's everything around that. That was just hassle. Traveling, hotels. When I've been so locked into a routine, it's probably what's wrong with my brain, to be honest. We get so locked into a routine, like traveling to another city or another country to go to a hotel would just like fucking blow my head. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because it like blows your daily routine off a bit.
Yeah, and I just think, I don't know, shit, I've been locked in for that routine for that long, I don't even know how to function outside of it.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's that one. I think if you don't really like doing the whole thing, though, you're probably not in the right sport.
No, definitely not. It's all right to just like little parts of it, like peak off season where you can't.
Does anyone like that bit?
I don't think anyone likes that bit. That's the thing with bodybuilding. You're either pushing to one extreme or the other. There's only a little bit in the middle, which is actually like fairly comfortable, which is like when you first start dieting for about 6 weeks, it's very comfortable in it. It's not difficult. Your hunger's in a nice place. you're a bit lighter.
Yeah.
That's probably the only comfortable bit.
I think that actually really helps with thinking about bodybuilding like that though, because you get into it because you're like, oh, I'm building muscle, I'm like dieting, like I'm gonna look really good, and like it's obviously based on what you look like, isn't it? So you kind of think, like that's good, I'll kind of look really good and I'll feel really good. But when you actually think about it, it's such an extreme sport. So you're either a bit chunky and like eating loads of food and feel a bit like meh, or you're really hungry and you're tired and you like pushing. So it's
so there's only one little bit in the middle. That's all
right.
Because
it's like thinking about it. It's like an extreme sport, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme on your body.
Yeah, yeah. How many girls do you both have competing next year? I've already said this earlier.
I've already said I don't count.
Dan doesn't know. I've got 4 next year and 9 the year after. I'm counting mine because I'm still in that excited phase where it's like starting to build up a bit.
Yeah. I don't look.
Maybe I'll get to your level one day.
Or I do pay attention because I don't want too many competing within the same time frame if I can help it. I mean, obviously you can never really avoid that, like the Universe and the British, but like the qualifiers and stuff. But it's took me a few years to figure out a point of how many clients that I have, and I don't go over that. So I'd like cap myself at a certain amount of clients, and that always lands me around about the same amount of people around the qualifiers and the shows, unless you get a freak year, I suppose, where loads of people decide they want to compete, not all in the off season. But so I kind of know where my numbers are, to where they sit, to what's comfortable, to what I can manage, and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? So I joke and say I don't count, but I've got kind of like
you got a mental tab.
I've got it clocked of like who's doing what.
So you don't end up with 250 clients competing.
Exactly, yeah. I know. We've all been at that point where we took on too many clients and then had to kind of knew where the limit was and then start coming backwards. I hit man a couple of years ago, and I was like, and this went when I was competing. This is just general overall clients. I was like, this is too much. Yeah. And then I had to start bringing it back again.
I feel like everyone, because I've even had. I mean, obviously, I've not got as many clients as you, but I hit a point even with my kitchen where I was like, for me, this is like too much, because everyone has like their own point. Like some coaches can work with a lot more clients.
It's just how you manage your days and how your days are set up and all the rest of it. But like, you don't know till you hit it.
No.
And people always used to say this and that number and all that, and I used to think, well, I'm all right. Yeah. Then one week I was just like, I am not all right. Yeah. I had to like get rid of a few and then just like kind of let it drop back a little bit.
Yeah.
And then now I know where my number is, and I just sit around that number. I'll just let it sit around that number.
Yeah, that's something. How do you know if your body fat is too high to bulk?
Well, you'll see it in the mirror. But I suppose if you don't know it's a good question, I suppose, if you don't know what you're looking for.
I guess with that, like if you start in like an off season or a bulk or whatever, and you're already carrying a lot of body fat, obviously you're not going to get leaner, are you? No. So it depends. This
is another one where we'll go back to the same things. I think it was the genetics question where it's like, I know, but I find it actually difficult to put into words, because if someone stand in front of me, I'll go, yeah, you're too fat, you need to take a bit off, but to put it into actual words.
Because it's such a, what's the word? It's like subjective, isn't it? As to like what's too high, what's too high body fat.
To what person as well, I suppose. Yeah. I suppose knowing where your stage weight or your leanish weight is could be a good indicator, because you don't want to go too many. You've got to think of how much you've got to come back through to get to that, I suppose. So if you know your stage weight's 130 pounds or whatever, I was going to call it kilos, whatever it is, just call it 60 kilos. If you know your stage weight's 60 kilos, you know you don't really want to be pushing up to like 90, 95 kilos, really, because that's a long way to come back down to find somewhere near about where your stage weight is going to be. So if you know roughly where about your stage weight is, I suppose if you could try and stay within 20 kilos at the maximum and then just bounce inside that, and you're looking to start prep, maybe again person dependent, like 12 13 kilos is a good place to start prep, like above as a maximum. Really don't really want to be going through 20 kilos in a 20-week prep.
It's a lot to lose that,
it's a lot of pressure to get through as well, you know what I mean? Like, you can lose over a kilo a week, but you can't just rush body fat off. So some people will lose over a kilo a week, and that's just person dependent on how they react to the preps, and obviously the off season they've had and everything that's led up to it. But you don't want to be putting yourself under that kind of pressure. So if you're doing a 20-week prep, if you've got between 11 and 13 kilos roughly to come off, that's probably a good place to be. So then if you're pushing through your off season, I suppose you could look at it like, well, I'm around about 12 or 13 kilos above stage weight from where I was last time. I can probably spend the next I don't know, X amount of months working my way up through this 8 kilo, or for example, until you get to that point and then just rinse it back down. I mean, I don't necessarily like to use body weights, but it's more the look. But then sometimes you carry more than you realise as well. So it's good to definitely keep that in mind. That's something I used to make the mistake of when I was younger, actually, with people. I just used to go off look. And then a few times I got caught off guard with how much people had to bring off.
And then it's a massive stint you've got to run.
Or you really rush in because you've misgauged it. And these are the mistakes that you make as a younger coach that you can get caught off guard with, especially like me. I had no one to ask. You know what I mean? I was just doing it all myself. It's a lot. I think it's a lot easier nowadays because there's a lot more online, there's a lot more mentors, a lot more information. When I was at that point, there was...
it's just kind of trying.
You're just trying to. I was trying to figure it out because nobody was really telling you nothing. There's no information on it anyway. You're just figuring it out yourself a lot of the time. So that one thing I figured out was that take the body weight into consideration as well as the look, and just don't leave too much fat to bring off in one stretch.
I guess if someone's not prepped before and they're like, do I bulk or do I cut? I guess that's more so just based on like. If you got someone, I guess, that's like not got very good appetite, you know, and everything like that, they're already carrying a lot of body fat.
Diet
probably want to pull back a bit, and then you can go up.
Start seeing some lands. And get your appetite in a good place, get everything in a good place, and then slowly get your output brought down, your calories steadily bring up, and give yourself a real long run of growth. Just say, should we just say, make sure I don't jiggle.
Make sure there's not too much body fat.
If you're jiggling, there's too much.
Jump up and down.
The jump up and down test. That's not a thing, by the way.
And I guess with that as well, what I'll sometimes do with if I've got clients that like haven't, well, obviously most of my clients haven't prepped before, but is I will do like just get their structure and their routine sorted first. So like rather than getting a client and going straight into like a building phase or straight into a fat loss phase, you know, just look at like tightening everything up, getting them training properly, running through all the form videos,
just like sitting at maintenance.
Yeah, basically
just let that run.
Yeah, because normally their body composition will change quite nicely from that.
Yeah.
And then you've got a good structure, and then you can kind of reassess and say, right, like, are you maintaining in a good spot? Like,
I do exactly that.
And sometimes you might find with the client, like, the calories that they're maintaining on actually are like pretty low, so you need to go through that building phase. So then you can sort of gauge where the client's at and go from there a bit more.
Like, shit, you're eating 1,500 calories and you're holding body weight. Well, you need to go up for a good stint. You know
and even some people will be like that. Like they'll be I've had clients maintain at like 1,700 calories. And they're not lean, and I'm like, right, we need to actually
if I get someone who's brand new and they're like that, and they've not really come from where they've seen, because often clients will come and they've got no baseline whatsoever. So I'll just sit them at like 1,900, something like that. That's enough to eat to be comfortable generally. But it's also enough to lose a bit of body fat if their body's in the right position to do it. Do them on that. Put the steps at a reasonable place. Get them training. Obviously, make sure all the food choices are good. Still put off-plan meals in and stuff like that. And then just sit and just see what happens.
And then if you do that for a while and the training hard, get people
usually within 6 weeks, there's like a good body composition shift. And they're like, right, okay, we can go up now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So that's that.
Yeah.
I think, have you ever had to turn a client away?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes I've just said to people
I have
like,
as well.
I don't think we'll be a good fit, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get on a call with some people sometimes, and then they start talking and you're thinking, oh dear, I don't know if this is going to be good or not. And then I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and I'll kind of tear them out a bit and I'll start asking a few questions and stuff myself. And I'll just listen sometimes, and then I'll think, I don't think it's good for me. So sometimes when I'll get off the call, then I'll like send them a message. I think this, I'll either advise a different coach sometimes, or even one of my own coaches if I think they'll be more suited to them. Or just say I think there's probably a better coach out there for you than me. I don't think I'm going to get the best out of you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
because every coach has got their own way of doing stuff, haven't they? Like slightly different methods and like,
I've had some mad consult calls, me. Some mad consult calls. But yeah, I mean, 9 times out of 10 people are 9.9 times out of 10 it's all right, isn't it? But it's very rare that happens. Yeah. But have you done it as well? Just
with people that are maybe like, I've had a few girls that are like too close post, like eating disorder.
Yeah, I knew I was going to say that.
They just need a bit more, maybe professional help, or a bit more time or something. Yeah, or some girls that are doing, because I've got quite a few girls who are like doing. Some of them do high rock stuff, some of them do running. So although there's the bodybuilders in there, there's also quite a few lifestyle girls who are a bit more diverse. But if I get someone that's like, I'll get on some calls and they're doing this like mad thing that I don't really know much about.
So
then I'm like, right, you need to go to someone who's actually coaching that a bit more.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So,
but yeah, mine's mostly like people that are, if sometimes I've got girls and they're really close, post-eating disorder, or they just need a bit more help, and I'm like, look, you need someone more professional.
Or specialises in that.
Yeah.
Well, that's smart, because some people, I think, would probably just take the money, wouldn't they?
Yeah, defo. They'd be like, yeah, I can help you. How to track your steps but keep them separate from your cardio? Take your watch off.
How to what?
Track your steps but keep... when
your watch off.
You program that when you like as well, when you like cardio excluding steps. Just take the watch off.
Take your watch off.
Nice and easy. Last one, I think. What advice would you give to your mum or big sister or older female relative as she heads toward, I think that's meant to say heads towards prep? Because I can't literally.
I'm thinking, is that me? I said, we are on the middle of in the farmland, to be fair. This studio is out in the sticks, but I didn't know we'd be able to. There might be actually a cow out there. If we go outside and there's just loads of cows around my car, I'm going to shit.
I was thinking, I've not eaten for a while. Am I going mad?
Mad cow disease. I thought it was just me that could hear it. Advice.
Advice for older relative.
I think it's for any relative. I think basically just saying keeping people safe.
Yeah.
I'll coach them. Keep them safe. I'll keep them right.
I don't know if it means like as in how to like educate family in terms of like getting them understanding what you're doing with prep. I think
for when you're about to start.
Yeah, prep. I think that's what it means. What advice would you give?
Let me read it. Let me see.
It's the one on that side there. Oh.
What advice would you give to your mum, big sister, older female relatives as she heads? It just says she heads tall.
Yeah, I think it means towards prep.
Oh, let's see.
But I've just made that up, so it might not. But I think in terms of explaining it to like relative, we'll go down that route because I think that's the best one.
Yeah.
In terms of relatives, I think just sitting down and having a conversation, because I think loads of when you're like, if you're not in bodybuilding, it seems like such a weird thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know my mum took a few years to get used to it.
And like weighing your food and like not being able to have family meals and eating the same meals. Like if you think it's so normal, right, towards like eating the same meal every day.
Yeah.
But then most people, when you think about it, have like a different family meal every day, don't they?
Yeah, true, yeah.
So I think like just sitting down and just being like, right, this is what I'm doing. This is how it works. I think that helps a lot, just having like an actual conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably good advice. And just tell them all about it. Let them see it. Let them talk about it. Know that you're safe, because they'll probably see you getting thinner.
Yeah.
In clothes, they'll be like, she's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And my mum used to go to me, "Are you sure you're all right?" And I'd be like, "No." And I'd be like, "Yeah." And I'd go see my relatives and be like, "Oh, Daniel, you look very skinny."
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's not what I want to hear 3 weeks out. I don't even tell I'm skinny."
Yeah, you get like your grandma, don't you? Just like, "Oh, you're looking a bit ill. You look a bit frail and poorly.
Need something to eat." Yeah. Then just sit down and explain to them the ins and outs of it all. Yeah. It's temporary. You're doing it under a controlled manner. You're doing it with professional advice and all the rest of it. And they'll still think it's weird, and like it's natural for a parent to worry about like, if Daphne was older and I was watching her, thinking about it now, it's the first time I've really thought about it, but like I'd be thinking, I hope she's all right. Like, and that's me knowing about bodybuilding. Do you know what I mean? So I suppose someone that doesn't know and just watches them getting shredded and being in a bad mood all the time, you'd be like,
like, what are you doing to yourself?
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, because even my dad's like, "Oh, you're looking a bit thin now."
Yeah. Mad.
I haven't seen my parents since I've competed, so I saw them like a couple of days after, so I'm gonna look like a different person.
Yeah, they'll go, "Oh, you look nice and fat again, Leah."
They're like, "Oh, you fattened up a bit now."
Yeah, stop using the wrong words.
Don't tell me I'm fat.
Yeah. Should we wrap them questions up? Because that was fairly long.
Yeah, that's been a long one. So hopefully that was insightful. I feel like we've covered quite a lot there. What?
I hope it was insightful for somebody. Somebody watching this might have took something from that.
Hopefully. But yeah, let us know if you want any topics covering. Obviously, subscribe. It will be going on Spotify and Apple.
Yes, Leah's on with
that.
I'm
sorting it. I'm on it.
She's the technology lady.
So yeah, I'm just waiting for the link, and then that'll be live. So then, then you can go and listen to it elsewhere.
Yeah, elsewhere, apart from in front of your screens.
Yeah,
listen to it while you're walking. When you listen to it on YouTube and you're out walking, it keeps turning off.
Yeah, because you have
to
to
like carry it in your hand. And you can't lock this.
Yeah.
I know, because I put it on the other week when I put one of the episodes on just to see if it was going on thingy all right.
Yeah,
it just kept going off.
Yeah. So that'll be better. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed, and we'll be back in another 2 weeks.
Yes, which is actually 10 minutes.